Hello, my beautiful face stuffers. I hope you guys are doing well. Today I have a special recipe dedicated to Mr. Corbin. I know you love sushi and you are missing eating it, so I hope you try this recipe with your family during this quarantine time. All right, let's start with the ingredients. You're going to be needing some rice, and specifically sushi rice. And this is the one that I use, but you can use whatever sushi rice you have available. We're going to need some imitation crab, some sushi seaweed sheets, panko, sesame seeds, rice vinegar, wasabi, cucumber, an avocado, Japanese mayo, sriracha, soy sauce, and you don't have to, but I have sushi sauce to drizzle. You're also going to be needing some sugar and then a little bit of oil just so your rice doesn't stick. All right, so the first things first, we're going to do the rice. We're going to have 2 cups of rice and we're going to wash it, and we're going to add 4 cups of water. Okay, and this is how it should look like. That's the 4th cup. And we're going to put it to cook. Next, we're going to be starting our vegetables, and the only thing you need to cut is the avocado and the cucumber into strips. And this is how I cut it. I cut it around the seeds, and then I cut it into thin strips, taking away anything white. So like that. But you could also cut it in little pieces, like right here. But I prefer the long strips. So once you're done with that, you're going to put it aside. All right, time for the crab. And you can use real crab if you want to. It'll probably be even tastier, but I don't have access to that or any raw fish. So that's the reason why I'm using this. So we're going to start shredding it, and this is what I am doing, just kind of pulling it apart. And it is very tedious, so you could get a fork to help you out on this, and this will take you a while, just so you know. So get comfortable. So after you're doing this, it should look like this. See how big it is? It becomes voluminous. So then we grab the whole bowl and dump it into our board, and we want to chop it off as fine as you can. But you could also leave it shredded if you want, but I like it to be very, very kind of like minced. Once we're doing that, we're going to transfer it back into the bowl, and we're going to start to season it. And then we're going to put in 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of sriracha. You don't have to put that much because it does get spicy. And then about 2 tablespoons of the Japanese mayo, and we're going to mix it. We're going to be mixing it all together, make sure it's well mixed, and then we're going to transfer it into the refrigerator until everything's done to assemble. Up next, I'm going to try to do the panko, and that's for the crunch roll that I'm going to do. I'm going to do 2 different kinds. I'm going to grab some oil and put it into a skillet, and then some panko on it, some sea salt, some ground ginger. We're also going to be using allspice, a little bit of that, and some cinnamon. And then we're going to take it to the stove to get it browned or get it golden, just like this. And we're going to set that aside. And now we're going to start with the rice. We finally finished the rice. It finished cooking, and it should look like that. And with a fork, you're just going to fluff it up a little bit. And I whipped up my beautiful fan so I could fan it so that all the steam kind of goes away and I could cool down the rice. And I'm going to start by putting 3 tablespoons of oil. I use vegetable oil, but you can use vegetable or canola oil. And we're also going to be adding the sesame seeds, about 1 tablespoon. You could add a little bit more if you want to. That will give it a little bit, like little sparkle here and there, I guess. And then you're going to also add the rice vinegar. And this is to your taste. You could add more, you could add less. I just like to put like about 1 tablespoon or even less than that, so it's not so pungent. But go ahead and use whatever you want. And then I also added about a teaspoon of sugar as well. You could add a little bit more or less if you want. And then we're going to go ahead and mix it. And then you could also leave it as is, just add a little bit of oil if you want and do it that way, but I like it seasoned, and that's how it should look like. All right, and you're gonna let it cool for a little bit, and we're gonna need to start rolling now. So we're gonna grab the nori using the shiny part down. We're gonna get a little bit of oil in our hand so the rice doesn't stick. Grab some rice and put it on top of the nori. And I'm using a sushi roller, but you don't have to use it. You could use the clear wrap to help you roll. So we're going to be putting enough rice to cover all the little gaps, just leaving a little sliver on top like I did up here. And this will help us roll for some reason. I don't know, it really does help. So just leave a little gap. And I forgot to mention, I actually also had some thawed out shrimp that I kind of pan fried a little bit and I wanted to use it. Otherwise, I would use like raw fish like salmon or tuna or even tempura shrimp, but I don't have access to that. Okay, guys, so let's start to roll. So now that I have this compacted rice, I'm gonna start putting some of that beautiful crab that we took out of the refrigerator. And be generous with this. This is a main source of the taste. It tastes really good. Like I mentioned before, I don't have all these raw ingredients that I could put in, like the tuna and salmon, but this will do it. It'll taste really, really good. So put a layer on that, be generous, and we're gonna be adding the vegetables next. I used 2 strips of the cucumber. And then obviously if we had a bigger avocado, probably like 2 strips of that. But this was such a tiny avocado that I had to cut it in pieces. So I used like 3 or 4 pieces. And we're going to just kind of layer it like that. And then after we're done with that, we're going to layer it with the, I guess they call it ebi in Japanese, but it's shrimp. And we're going to be putting the shrimp on it with the tails going out. And you can put more stuff again, anything that you like. You could even add wasabi to this if you want to add wasabi. You could also add some ginger, whatever floats your boat, whatever you like. All right, so if you guys missed it, I rolled around the mat so that the piece that we didn't put rice on is not facing me. And I'm going to be using the mat to just help it squeeze it in like so. And you could use your hand, just kind of roll it. And don't be afraid if your nori rips like it did on mine, because I actually was pulling really hard so it could become really tight. Just grab another piece of nori, put the same side, the shiny side out, and then we're going to roll the nori over it like that. And then use your mat or your clear wrap, whatever you have, to just kind of tighten it and make it into a big tight roll. This is how it's supposed to look like. Okay. All right, so now we're going to be doing the crunch roll. Same thing like we did on the other one. We're going to grab a piece of nori with the shiny side down, and then we're going to put some rice on it. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit. And then the same thing as well. You could just leave a gap as well like that and just make sure it's compacted like that. And this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to grab some plastic wrap and we're going to put it on top. Then we're going to turn it over. And then we're going to start adding ingredients. So we're going to add the imitation crab. Be generous as well. Just put a good layer on top of that. And then, of course, our vegetables, our cucumber and avocado. Same thing like the last roll. Same thing. The ebi, the shrimp. I missed a little piece. And then we're going to roll it. And then don't worry about those gaps that you see of rice. The mat will help you get it into place. If you're going to use fresh fish, make sure to put it on top before you roll it. But anyways, I don't have that, so I'm going to just roll it. This is how it's supposed to look like. Now, you could eat it like this or just transfer it into the crunch and roll it. And put as much as you want as well. I like a bit of a crunch, so I kind of like dab it into it and make sure it has enough for me. And this is how it's supposed to look like. So let's set it aside and start cutting our other rolls. You're going to need a very sharp knife for this and a moist towelette so that you could clean off your knife every time you're cutting. And then just kind of assemble your sushi. You don't even have to go all fancy like I'm doing. I just wanted to take a really nice picture. Get both of the sushi rolls together. I had some of these like fake grass and my chopsticks. And then I also like to serve this with some wasabi, some pickled ginger, and I like eating it with some sriracha and some sushi sauce as well that I didn't put it on this for some reason. I totally forgot to drizzle it, but you could put the drizzle it over. But this is how it looks like. It looks amazing, and the best part, it tasted amazing. Alright guys, well it's done. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Mr. Corbin, thank you for letting me know that you love sushi, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.